From Nebraska's trusted news source, this is Channel 8 News at 5.
Coming up tonight on the news, former police officer Kim Potter found guilty of manslaughter. Plus, welcome home. These Army National Guard soldiers are back in Nebraska. But first,
what we can control is wearing that mask and washing our hands and practicing a safe social distance.
in 7 hours, Lincoln's mask mandate will be over. Good evening, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us on this Thursday evening. I'm Rod Fowler. Megan Conley has the night off. Some of you, no doubt, very happy that the mask decision was made, but keep in mind there are still going to be situations, places that you go to, you're still going to need to wear it. Channel 8's Macy Meyer has what you need to know as we cover Lincoln tonight. Macy?
Well, Rod, there's a lot of places that will be dropping that mask requirement after today, but some are legally required to keep it, and others say they have to do it for the health of those they serve.
You will still be required to wear a mask, so if you come into Lincoln Airport to catch a flight or any airport for that matter, you will be required to wear a mask.
While the Lancaster County mask mandate is set to expire Thursday at midnight, places like the Lincoln Airport will still require mask upon entry. In fact, you need to have a mask handy when going on any public transportation. That's because of a federal mandate that was recently extended by President Joe Biden that will now be in effect until March 18th of 2022.
Kind of reminder that not to get upset with our customer service staff or TSA or airline employees. We're just following what we are supposed to be following to keep everybody safe.
Not following the federal mask mandate could result in a fine and even being placed on a no-fly list. Now, for other places, that risk of not wearing a mask indoors is a matter of life or death.
We serve a community from the ages of anywhere from 55 or 53 to 100. I think my oldest is 100. And they come with many comorbidities. They have a lot of health issues as you get older, and being able to wear a mask, some of them do not have the immune response like a healthy 20-year-old would.
Senior and assisted living facilities will also have mask requirements. The protection is something Patricia says has kept their residents at Havelock Manor COVID-free for the past 22 months. She said even if there wasn't a requirement for masks, she will still wear one to make sure those who are vulnerable are kept safe.
But I will even wear my mask out in the stores and in public because I'm going back in and I'm taking care of that vulnerable population. And I feel like that's my duty because that's what I signed up for, is to serve and protect these residents.
Now, also a reminder for you, private businesses are allowed to require masks for entry if they want, even if there isn't a county mandate.
All right, some good information. Macy Meyer, thank you so much for our top story tonight. In other news now, someone broke into a Lincoln bakery last night. It happened at Butterfly Bakery. That's located near 33rd and Highway 2. As you can see, someone broke a window to get in and stole some cash and some iPads. Once the news of this made social media, the Lincoln community stepped up to support the bakery.
Like I promised myself all day I'm not going to cry, and then this one lady came in and she had on a Free Mom Hug t-shirt that they wear at the Pride parades, and I just started crying, and she's like, "Do you need a hug?" And I was like, "I do." So the outpouring of just love has floored me yet again.
Jen says customers have been great coming in and buying goodies today, and with Christmas 2 days away, she did have this message for whoever did this.
People are like, "Are you angry?" And I'm not really. Whoever broke in, they must have needed that more than we did in that moment. And so I hope that what they get, they can find some sense of peace, because they must be kind of tormented right now.
As far as the investigation goes, police are still looking for whoever did this. No word on how much damage or money was stolen. If you have any information, be sure to call Lincoln Police. In national news now, the trial for former Minnesota police officer Kim Potter has come to a close. Jurors today reaching a verdict. ABC's Morgan Norwood is in Minneapolis.
After hours of deliberations over the course of 4 days, the jury in the Kim Potter trial reaching a verdict.
Find the defendant guilty.
The former Brooklyn Center police officer pleaded not guilty to first and second degree manslaughter charges in the killing of Dante Wright during a traffic stop in April. For weeks, the jury sat through hours of testimony, Potter taking the stand in her own defense and breaking down as she tearfully explained the moments leading up to her shooting Dante Wright. Her attorney contending that Wright's death was a tragic accident, saying Potter mistook her firearm for her taser.
Nobody's perfect, ladies and gentlemen, and this lady here made a mistake, and my gosh, a mistake is not a crime.
Potter's lawyers insisting she was justified in using deadly force because she feared Wright would injure another officer while driving away.
Dante Wright caused his own death, unfortunately. If he would have gone and with the officers, been handcuffed, go to the squad car, go take your ride downtown, and it's over.
But the prosecution refuting that claim, saying Potter's actions were rash and reckless.
There's no mistake defense. You will not see an instruction on the defense of mistake. The judge will not give you an instruction that says a person is not guilty if they commit a mistake. That's not the law.
And the family of Dante Wright releasing a statement saying that they are, quote, relieved that the justice system has provided some measure of accountability. As for Kim Potter, she's been remanded into custody. Morgan Norwood, ABC News, Minneapolis.
And World News Tonight, we'll have much more on this coming up right after this newscast. Back here at home now, just in time for Christmas, 45 Nebraska soldiers are back in the state this evening. These Nebraska Army National Guard soldiers served in the 192nd Military Police Detachment. They arrived at Eppley Airport today after about 10 months serving overseas in Jordan.
It's tremendous, you know, having your loved ones home during the holidays, and for us to get them back before the Christmas holiday is even a better thing for us as a state to bring back our Guard members so they can be with their family for Christmas and the New Year.
I did check with officials this afternoon. They say the group will be home for a good period of time for now. No word, though, on any possible future deployment. A mountain lion was hit and killed by a car in Washington County. It happened on a county road near Arlington. Nebraska Game and Parks was called in to collect the lion's remains. Mountain lions here in Nebraska, not that uncommon. Earlier this month, one was captured on a trail camera just east of Lincoln. Here's a good feel story. Neighbor helping neighbor. Nebraska farmers and semi-drivers delivering hay to Kansas. Look at that, 16 trucks full of bundles of hay made their way from Nebraska to Kansas with the American flag attached to their trucks. These ranchers headed to Paradise, Kansas, which was hit recently very hard by wildfires. In addition to hay, other supplies like fencing material and feed were also included.
We're just ranchers helping ranchers. It's just trying to be generous and do what we can do. When we're in a struggle up here, they'll step up to the plate. So the right thing is to step up when they're in a time of need.
Nebraska farmers and ranchers say they will continue doing the deliveries in the weeks to come. Take a look at this. Dozens of vehicles crashed on an icy interstate. It happened this morning in northwest Wisconsin. As you can see there, at least one semi-truck caught on fire. About 40 vehicles were involved. So far, the good news, no reports of any major injuries. And we are learning more about the fire at the Exxon Mobil plant in Texas this morning. It broke out in a unit that makes gasoline, but they managed to get a hold of it before it could spread to the rest of the facility. Exxon says it's monitoring the air quality and didn't detect any dangerous levels after the incident.
We deeply regret this disruption and incident and any inconvenience that may have caused to our community.
They're not a good neighbor. They haven't been a good neighbor for years, and they've gotten worse.
4 employees were hurt and taken to the hospital. We learned late this afternoon that 3 of them suffered flash burn injuries and the 4th has a broken leg. As for the cause of the fire, Exxon believes it stems from a flammable liquid that is used to dilute crude oil. Let's talk about our forecast now. It's always fun to do that with Chief Meteorologist John Dissauer. How's it looking tonight?
It looks beautiful outside right now as we take a live look from our camera at Honda of Lincoln on the southwest side of town. A very warm day. We've made it up to 60 degrees this afternoon in Lincoln. That is the first time that has happened on the state in 50 years. You got to go back to 1971 to find a warmer day. Take a look at as we look up to the west-west, you can see we've got some of those clouds out there. Sun set today officially at 5:04 p.m. Right now, temperatures still on the very mild side. We should normally be right around 37 degrees for high temperature. It's currently 52 in Lincoln, 51 in Beatrice, 53 in Hebron, and 56 degrees right now in Grand Island. Lots of clouds overhead, and we're going to keep the clouds around really for the next couple of days, I think. But even with the clouds, it's still going to stay very mild, if not even warm. See, not a whole lot going on back to the west either, so things are relatively quiet right now. Hey kids, want to let you know, coming up in my main weather segment, we're going to be hearing from Hans Gutenhofer, who's the chief meteorologist for North Pole Flight Operations, because guess what? It turns out tomorrow they are going radio silent. And from what I've heard, it's because the rumors are the elves are frantically working to try to get everything ready to go for tomorrow night's flight ops. So that's why we'll talk to him today instead of tomorrow. This evening, 42 degrees at 8 o'clock, 40 degrees by 10. We're going for record high temperatures tomorrow, and we are going to start the weekend on a warm note. We'll talk about just how warm for Christmas and when we may see some colder air coming our way. That's all coming up in just a few minutes.
I've noticed you have two special phones back there. One I know is with Mother Nature. Is the other for Hans?
I've got several ways of getting hold of Hans if need be. You never rely on just one method.
That's true. Have a backup, right?
That's right.
All right. Thank you, John. Talk to you later. What do you say we talk about some business and consumer news now? U.S. inflation rose 5.7% over the past year. That's the fastest increase in consumer spending price index since 1982. What we pay for things may be high right now, but according to the most recent data, it could be peaking. Also, Americans' incomes went up 0.4% last month. It will soon cost you more to get a U.S. passport. It's going to be an extra $20 starting December 27th. The U.S. State Department says it's necessary to ensure producing one of the most secure travel and identity documents in the entire world. Coming up, a new pill has been authorized by the FDA to help fight against COVID-19 as the Omicron variant spreads. We'll have more on that and an updated check on your weather with John when we come back. Health news now. The FDA has authorized a second pill to treat COVID-19. Just a day after giving Pfizer's antiviral pill the green light, Merck's pill can also now be taken at home, or at least in the near future. Both are going to need doctors' prescriptions. Health experts say the pills are not a substitute for vaccines, but they are a potential game changer.
This is a very, very, very potent agent, and you're not going to need to go to a hospital to get an infusion like monoclonal antibodies.
This is one of the few pieces of bright news this week. Preliminary testing does suggest that it still works against the Omicron variant, which is terrific news.
Clear if the treatments are going to be free or how quickly the rollout will be. Merck has an agreement with the U.S. government to supply 3 million treatment courses, and the White House has purchased 10 million courses of Pfizer's pill, which with the first expected to arrive sometime in January. And lower COVID cases on college campuses may be linked to more testing. Researchers looked at on-campus data from 18 colleges and universities, and the report said schools that test more have a better chance of diagnosing cases and keeping infection rates low.
Now, your Storm Alert Team forecast with Chief Meteorologist John Dessauer.
Here's a live look right now from Outlook Communications looking back to the south and west, and really not too bad of a day. We had told you there would be a lot of clouds around the area, and that was definitely the case today. Mid to high level clouds. But even with the cloudiness, we still saw temperatures climbing today up to right around 60 degrees. In fact, we hit 60 degrees today in Lincoln. So a very mild day. You can still see the clouds up there. We'll keep them around as we go through the overnight hours. In fact, I think we'll probably keep skies either mostly cloudy to overcast overnight. But take a look at temperatures after a high of 60. We are cooling back off. It's 52 degrees at the airport, 54 degrees at East Campus. It's 54 degrees along Denton Road on the southwest side of town. We go further north, it's a bit cooler up towards Wahoo as well as in Columbus, but 50s everywhere else around southeast Nebraska. Tonight, we won't cool off terribly much, with lows dropping down into the 30s. And as we go through the day tomorrow, records are expected to be in the lower to, or not expected, they are in the low to mid 60s. And I think we easily surpass those tomorrow. I just realized that is yesterday's forecast. I can tell you tomorrow we're going to see a high temperature of 61 degrees around the area, at least in Lincoln, and so we will get very close to the record high for tomorrow. And for the Tri-Cities, we will see temperatures topping out in the low 60s as well. So we're going to be coming very close to record highs for Christmas Eve. Now, we'll likely start with some clouds tomorrow morning, seeing some sunshine perhaps as we go through the day. I still think we're going to see lots of clouds around the area, especially mid to high level clouds, similar to what we saw today. So again, by 3 o'clock, temperatures sitting in the upper 50s to right around 60 degrees. And if you're getting out on the roadways tomorrow evening, just expect a lot of clouds around. By 6 o'clock, we'll see temperatures in the middle 40s to low 50s. So a mild day coming again tomorrow, and there should not be any issues from a weather standpoint if you are traveling on area interstates or highways going north, south, east, or west. Now, this is what we're looking at for tomorrow across the country. And you can see down to the southwest, we've got some more showers down that way. But let me step out of the way so you can see the east coast as well. If you've got loved ones in other parts of the country, or maybe you are also traveling around the country as we go through the day tomorrow, this is what you can expect. And as far as the airports are concerned, I think for the most part we'll be doing okay. There will be some rain around the area, but in the morning hours we may have a few issues, maybe a few weather delays or delays due to weather in Los Angeles and Minneapolis that may continue into midday for both those airports as well. But the rest of the country should be not any issues whatsoever. Hey, so temperature-wise around the country, we're looking for highs to be in the upper 50s in Denver, 53 degrees in Albuquerque. Look at Dallas tomorrow, just absolutely surging up into the low 80s by afternoon. And in Chicago is very warm. A little bit cooler as you head further north up towards the U.S.-Canada border of Minneapolis, only topping out at 24 degrees tomorrow. Hey, I mentioned I talked to Hans Gutenhofer today. And if you're not familiar with Hans, this is his 431st year as Chief Meteorologist of North Pole Flight Operations. We have a weekly conference call, and usually we do a call the day before Christmas, on Christmas Eve. This year they're going radio silent, but what I got from Hans this morning is weather is a go for flight operations tomorrow night. He saw the reindeer out stretching on the North Pole Glacier, or the North Glacier this morning, and the elves are working around the clock. So yeah, they've got some busy operations coming their way here in the next 24 hours. Now, as we look towards the weekend, Christmas Day right now, high temperature of 50 degrees, 55 on Sunday. So a very nice weekend coming. There will be a small chance for a few light showers early Saturday morning. So we're talking between midnight and about 4 o'clock in the morning. So don't be surprised if there's a few sprinkles out there. And then we start turning much cooler as we head towards the end of the year, of temperatures only in the 20s and maybe a little chance for snow coming our way. That would be by the 1st of the new year. Right around the 1st or 2nd, we may see a little snow.
All right, thank you, John.
Yeah.
In Husker football news, JoJo Domann sharing a thank you video for fans as he heads to the NFL draft.
I know I was meant to be here, to lose myself and overcome the fear, to find my heart, my home, to discover my choice, my love, my light, my path, my voice.
Domann saying goodbye to Husker football after 6 years. The outside linebacker missed his final game as a Husker against Ohio State because he had surgery on his hand. We wish him the very best in the NFL. Another good day on Wall Street. The Dow up 196 points, NASDAQ gaining 131. We'll be right back. Finally tonight, from one historic disappointment to a 70-million-year-old discovery. Daryl Forges has tonight's Take a Look at This.
It was a moment 134 years in the making. A time capsule buried underneath a statue of Robert E. Lee in Richmond, Virginia. According to the Virginia Department of Historic Resources, a newspaper article from 1887 claimed the capsule was supposed to have dozens of pieces of Civil War memorabilia and a picture of Abraham Lincoln in his coffin. But when the state's governor, Ralph Northam, did the honors of opening the old box, it wasn't quite what everyone was expecting. Instead, they recovered some old books, an English penny, and even a photo of the stonemason who built the statue. But some historians are still holding out hope the real items they're looking for are still out there. Another historic discovery half a world away. A perfectly preserved baby dinosaur was unearthed still curled up in its egg. The fossil, found in 2000 but overlooked for 2 decades, is thought to be 70 million years old. Wow. Researchers at the Yingling Stone Natural History Museum in China have named it Baby Yingling and says that the creature's skeleton was about 11 inches long. In life, it could have reached about 6 to 9 feet in length. Stressed about traveling for the holidays this week? The Reno Airport in Nevada wants to help take a little bit of that stress away with the help of these festive 4-legged friends. These certified therapy dogs from Paws for Passengers teamed up with the airport to help spread a little holiday cheer and bring smiles to those navigating the crowd terminals. Now that's something to bark about. Ha! I did it again. For Take a Look at This, I'm Daryl Forges.
All right, as we get ever so closer to Christmas, let's get a final check of the forecast with John.
Yeah, for the rest of this evening, not bad, especially for last-minute shoppers if you're going out this evening. Temperatures are going to stay above normal for high temperatures even through 10 o'clock tonight. 40 degrees by 10. We'll see overnight temperatures dropping down into the 30s. And for tomorrow, we'll have some clouds around, but temperatures likely into the upper 50s to lower 60s, a degree or two away perhaps from a record high temperature.
All right, thank you, John, and thank you so much for joining us. We always appreciate it. World News is coming up next, and then we'll see you back here at 6 o'clock.
With the Channel 8 Eyewitness News mobile app, you'll be the first to know. Get alerts about breaking news and weather, all in the palm of your hand.
At Supreme Spa and Pool, Christmas is here. Give a little cheer. Luxury hot tubs in stock.
Supreme Spa and Pool.